All right, everyone. Wow, it is already April. Is that blowing anybody else away or is it just me? Holy cow. And I got the one and only Troy Carnes, man. And as I always say, cooler than a ceiling fan. Troy, how you doing today, brother?
I'm so good. Th- we're getting our like third false spring of Denver right now, and it's gorgeous. It's like 70 today. People are happy. Shorts are out. I can't complain.
Man,
Nobody would listen if I did.
you know how many times I had to drag the air conditioner in and out and back and forth? Like it is like 80 degrees and then it's 20 degrees. That's Kentucky, man. I don't, you don't like the weather, wait 2 seconds. It's pretty much. So usually I just,
Yeah, we're gonna have the same thing.
oh man,
Yeah, we're gonna do the same thing this week. Yeah.
man, I am super excited for today. And I always say nobody watched the first 30 seconds, right? So there we go. I think we're past that mark. And let's go ahead and run the intro. We've got a lot to do, and I am super excited to have all these folks on, man. So, oh, wait a minute. Oh, false. Oh, there you go. She might be up here soon. Hi, Shanda. I said it right this
Oh,
time.
there you go.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be a blast, man. I'm in rarer form.
It's a
So
great
get
it's a
ready,
great
y'all.
group. It's a great group.
Oh man, and the things that are coming out of this is absolutely mind blowing, man. It's long overdue, and thank God we're doing it. So I can't wait. Let's roll this intro and get it started.
Do it.
Let's do it.
Are you looking to grow your network and your net worth with other high-level, heart-centered professionals? Then grab a seat and your favorite beverage and join Mike Ashabraner, the Redneck Connector. It's time for the Hounds of Business Community Happy Hour.
All righty, let's get to. I want to shout out folks, man, because people do special things out here, right? And they do the right thing. They're not perfect people, Troy, but man, they really strive to do what's in people's best interest. So these folks here, they're not only they're more country than me, right? Tanya Eberhart and Michael Carr, but they are partially responsible for seeing me and cleaning this up, right? And all the good things that come out of that. So I wanted to make sure that we shared this with the good folks, and they have just now come out with something else, right? And this is going to be very, very good for folks
Mm.
because, you know, long story short, I mean, if people are in the coaching and consulting game, right, and they're feeling like they're spinning their wheels, I mean, there's a lot of pressure right now. We got, inflation out the roof, all this talk, tariff, blah, 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 right? And, people, it's being good at what you do really ain't good enough anymore, right? And 98% of the people are going to meet your brand before they meet you. And that really changed my perspective. I've seen that, right? People want to go market,
Yeah.
but hey, if your brand ain't clear. So I wanted to make sure folks knew about this. This is much more. This is very accessible and affordable, folks. Tanya's put together 8-week rapid brand roadmap. All right, different than anything else they've done. It's all about positioning yourself so well that man, you stand out, right? And you don't have to stand out by being goofy, right? We don't stand out in a goofy way. This helped you in
Yeah.
your voice and get out there so people can identify you and then dive in, right? Learn more about you. So, and natural outreach messages. So, this is really tailored for coaches, guides, experts, people who are starting off, because we don't know what questions to ask and what to end up with. So, if you're just starting off, or maybe you're trying to scale up, it ain't right, go talk to these folks. They also have a great group call. So, DM me on LinkedIn, Mike Ashabraner, Redneck One. You can find the links in Hounds of Business on YouTube. But these are good people, folks. I mean, really, don't do this alone. It's why chiropractors don't crack their own necks, man. Like go get an expert to help you save 2-3 years of nightmare, like me, right? One day I'll show everybody my hairline. All right, that's from
Don't
trying.
do it.
No, man, amateurs do stuff alone. All top level pros, and I learned that in my 40s. I'm trying to help y'all. So anyway, these are good people, and if you're spinning your wheels, go out there and get the info, then say yes or no. So thank you, Tanya, for doing this. She has helped so many people, hounds, friends of the hounds. I mean, it's amazing, and they're just good people. And then speaking of that, sweet baby Jesus. All right, this is my second week in the Jaded 42. So Jaded Health 42, the program by David Mendeski himself. The doctor said, you got to get a new doctor. You're going to die. You're out of shape. So he's an attorney. He was a divorce attorney. So he went and did his research. And now look. So now
Hmm.
he's boiled down all the stuff and mystique. And it's so easy. The redneck connector can do it, man. That's all I can say, right? So I love this guy because it's just down to earth, puts it together, and he knows the battle's here. It's not, we all know how to eat better. We just don't know what we don't know, and the motivation. So Jaded Health 42, you're going to see us coming on. We got some test pilot folks in the Hounds, so we're going to give you the good, the bad, the ugly, right? But this is a fun thing.
Great.
I have been, man, when you build a business, Troy, it's hard. And you should eat, but sometimes you don't eat, man. So, anyway, this is practical. If you're out there and you have no time, this is it, man. I've been trying to find problem with this for 7 months. Ain't no problem with it. The problem was me, right? And this is a guy to help me. So. And the last thing before we get going, I want to make sure you're up here because you got this book, man. 98 days in recovery, alcohol recovery. Then you get a cancer diagnosis. Then they cut your shoulder out. See, I want to read a book about this from a guy like you, man. This is real. So tell us, give us the little brief, and then tell us, like, what's the update, man? When's this book coming out? When can we get a hold of it?
Well, I'll go backwards. Yeah, book is so I got through the copy editing and proofreading phase. It's sitting in my inbox now. I have a layout of the thing, so I can see what it looks like. Yeah, we're cruising. We are cruising. So copy editing. Yeah, copy editing. I'll tell you what. I'll give you a little hint of what's in the book because I actually had to use something from the book in copy editing, which I thought was going to be super easy. My head editor was like, copy editor is going to look at it. You just scroll through and say yes to everything. And then I scrolled through and, any time you let a writer look at their work, they're going to find stuff they want to fix. Right. And I looked through it and I found a handful of things that I missed before. And then I found a handful of revisions the copy editor made that I didn't like so much. I write with a lot of parentheses, asides, jokes, probably to my detriment, but I think people like it. And I'll tell you, Mike, the only person who loves M dashes more than AI was my copy editor. She put M dashes through this whole thing, and I was like, oh gosh. And so my main editor was like, you can't make all these changes. And I was like, dude, I got to make all these changes. And we were going back and forth, and I got the, this is above my pay grade. You got to go. And I was like fuming. I was nervous. I was worried. I was mad. And I said, oh, you know what? Actually, I have a 3-step framework for this because I'm a firm believer that most conflict comes from miscommunication, not malice. And when we go into conflict, not understanding what we want out of it, that's when things get sideways. Yeah. So it's step one, write a nasty note. Don't send the note, by the way. Write this not in your email, nothing with a send button. But, let the F-bombs fly, insult them, insult their moms, insult their dogs if you want, but get all the anger out. Let it sit for a day, look at it, and then say, well, do I have a clear ask here? Because if I don't have a clear ask, what am I expecting them to do? Dude. I did. This time I had a clear ask. And then I was like, then I was able to communicate that effectively. And not only that, but then tell them how I was willing to support the problem. Because if I'm just venting, if I'm not part of the solution, I'm just the problem, right? Yeah. So there you go. Vent it out, make sure that you have a clear ask, and then support that viable solution. And, this works with copy editors, but it also works with your boss. It works with your wife. It works with whoever, but you got to get your own mind straight. And so that's I'll give one away for free. That's in the book. And I used it today to get the process going. So. Hey dude, you said write notes. You know how many notes I'm going to get now, man? Don't send the note to me. All right. No, I'm joking. But seriously. Do not push send. Do not push send. Man, we'll have you back on soon, man. But we all have something. Right. Other people just better hide it than we are. We all have things to work on or things holding us back. And this is why I'm glad you're doing this. This is not something you set out to do. You care about people. You want to make sure that folks who are suffering inside, they got some kind of guide and solution. Thank you for that, Troy, man. You're a stand-up guy. Hey, check out the YouTube. Check out LinkedIn. We're going to be putting a lot more Troy up there. And, man, I'm super excited to get my hands on the copy, brother. So
Thank you so much. Everybody go.
And then, go to TroyCarnes.com, and then there will be a cover next week. I'm going to drop the cover next week.
Absolutely. I can't wait. So, right, and I'm having trouble. There's a delay here. It's like Godzilla movie, man. So forgive me for cutting you off, but appreciate you. Man, everybody go to TroyCarnes.com, stand up guy, realist stuff, and it works. So thank you so much, brother. We'll have you on soon, big dog. Appreciate you.
I thank you. I appreciate you too. Have fun with your group, man. It's a great group you got today.
Oh man, I am a blessed man. You got that right. So be good, brother. See you soon.
Go ahead.
All right. Well, hey, let's bring them all up at once. Just let the gate open. Look, like let the cattle in. There we are. How are you folks? Y'all can make noise here. Look, I'm hosting.
Oh, talking to us.
We're doing
Fantastic, brother. Thanks for having us.
Woo!
Yeah,
It's on your audience, man.
I don't have a soundboard. You got to do your own clappy noises. Man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Great seeing everybody. So let me tell the people why they're here, because we're like, hey, what's entrepreneur experience? It's real simple. All right. I'm really excited about this. There's just, when you start a business, and this is just my take on it, guys, this ain't the official, but when you go out there and you're crazy enough and passionate enough or whatever, you're motivated to do what most people won't, and you want to make an impact through your business, right? You don't have a lot of time, money, and freedom if you're just regular folk, right? That's the hounds right there. But then you probably won't. All the things that you want to accomplish, all the good you want to do in the world, you won't, because you don't have the people, resources, support, and formulas to get it done. And that's the best way I can describe what we have done together. Larry Call, thank you, Larry Call. He's the creator. It was in his head. He put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this. I mean, countless hours. And he brought us in, right? And so we are just a handful of the founding partners of the entrepreneur experience. Absolutely. I've been waiting like crazy to open this up, man, to share this with the hounds, the rest of the world, and good people who they don't even know what questions to ask. You know, this is a path and a guide, so you can come in, all right? People will take care of you, best interests, and you have a buffet of things that you can do to get to the next level. That's how I look at it, all right? Now, I'm going to let these folks polish up my redneck, persona on that. But let me ask this. Before we get started, we'll start with Brian. And you got to forgive me. It's been a long day, y'all. But Brian, you've helped countless people, because I want to highlight what you guys do individually and how we come together collectively. You've helped a lot of entrepreneurs, right, through your Invincibility Dojo, me included. It is not a common thing. It's not a common group class, none of that. But I'm open-minded now, thank goodness. And I really saw a lot of value of it. So, man, give us a taste. What's one practical technique, from your daily sessions that viewers can use, man? Like, what is the dojo about, and what do you do here?
Well, let me start with a why behind the technique. So the technique is only as good as the intention behind it, right? And so the idea is somewhere there's somebody that is that believes in themselves 10 times more than you. They're half as talented and making 5 times more money. So self-belief, self-confidence trumps ability every single time. So usually where people are is feeling like some kind of imposter syndrome or unworthiness. Those are the most common detractors from execution, is the lack of belief.
Yeah.
And so like look at my posture, like rounded back. I'm small as possible. I'm not going to win. I'm not going to be invincible in that. So like the highest leverage thing that I know how to do is just pull the shoulders back and just find that point of neutrality with the head, like look strong and take up some space. And while you're in that position, oh man, take a deep breath. It seems silly, but it changes everything. And the counterpoint to that, they did studies in subways in New York City. People that look like victims, they get attacked.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Facts. So
let me ask this way, because I want to make sure that we get this whole gamut, right? Because I'm so excited I can't even talk, Rick, man. It's sad, I know, but and that's all I do all day is talk. So that's a powerful statement. But let me start with Shanda, and then I'm gonna go around, right? Because you're founding partners of this thing, and there's a reason, right? It takes time, it takes effort, and it takes a lot of passion and desire. So what was that one struggle that you kept seeing entrepreneurs face when you said, hey, we got to fix this, and we're going to create the entrepreneur experience with Larry? Like, we're on board with this. What was that? What was those struggles and things that you said, I got to do this?
You know, I think one of the biggest things I've struggled with for years is having people I can have as a sounding board who aren't going to be those negative extra voices in your head who are going to tell you it's too big, you can't do it. What are you thinking? Try something else. Get a real job. You know, all those horrible things over and over again. You don't need that noise. No one needs that noise.
Amen.
What you need is people saying, "Hey, let's try this. What about this? Does this work?" Or just running the gamut with you, like just seeing about, "Hey, have you met this person? This person might have the answer. Why don't you go talk to them? Let me introduce you." And it doesn't stop. That's what I love about this group is we're constantly like, okay, we hit a no today. We don't like no. Let's work the problem. Let's go.
That's it. That well said. And that's what I like about it. We don't talk about it much, but it's the who before the what. And I'll be honest, because I just got pulled in and I got the opportunity. I was happy months ago. So I just kept showing up watching, people working on the background. And I would see successful, awesome people come in, some of them leave, and then more successful people would come in. And I was like, I kind of feel like the maid invested in Google. Like, wow, look, like I just did the who. And I was like, okay, now that I see winners with good alignment and values, now I'm going to take a deep dive into what. And man, it was like PB&J in the same jar, Rick. It was unbelievable, man. 20 years ago, I'm still talking about it. And then they just keep piling in people because like attracts like, right? And so we have people that know what they're doing and have the passion, right? That's the combo. So Rick, what's your take on this, man? What was that number one or two struggles, man? You're like, hey, I'm a busy man, but I'm going to go in here and make this happen for folks. Why is this important to you?
I love when people have a big vision. It's like one thing to say, hey, I want to do this thing. I want to open up a coffee shop. It's like, okay, cool. When people say, hey, you know what? I want to change the world. I'm sitting here. It's like, you know what? Let's figure this thing out. You know what I mean? And that's my thing. I like to take, some big, unattainable, big, hairy, audacious goal, as they say sometimes, and say, you know what? Let's figure out a path to get from where we are to where we want to be. So that's my impetus.
Absolutely. That's great. Brian, to you, man, because you've been in this probably the longest. You've been in this kind of from the beginning, haven't you?
I have. That's an interesting story of meeting Larry Cole in a networking meeting that he doesn't go to anymore. Like he swears off networking calls. He's found his own way. And I thought before he was going to pitch me on why I needed to hire him. And he was like, no, I don't want you to hire me. Like I want to partner. Like he saw stuff in me that I couldn't see. Bless you, Rick.
Thank you.
And, I have a background as a bomb technician. And so like the gun type nuclear weapons, you have a hemisphere and then you have another hemisphere. And when you put them together, some magic happens. And the best explosive word is skadoosh, hands down, Kung Fu Panda. And so, Larry and I met and the skadooshing started. And it just keeps getting better and better. Like he and I are walking each other home. In a way that's attracted some world-class people. And I look around at our meetings and the workshops that we do. There's 12 of them every week, soon to be 24 more, really a college campus for entrepreneurship. And I look around and like, there's world-class talent here, and like the value is stupid to have like a board of directors advising entrepreneurs at all three levels, starting out, trying to thrive, trying to change the world. And like, entrepreneurship, business ownership right now is no longer amateur hour. You can't. You're gonna get killed. It's professional baseball. Yeah. And it's not possible to be as good as these practitioners are in a lifetime. They already have it. And in the words of Dan Sullivan and Benjamin Hardy, who not how, right? For every how that I have a who in my Rolodex immediately. Like, hey, Shannon, I need help with AI. I need to figure out what AI agents are. And we work through that. Mm-hmm. Hey, Rick, I don't know how to grow this next thing. And it's like, not only are they good at it, they love doing it. So we figured out a way to put 12 people on the bus, the founders, that love doing what they do. It energizes them. And it's all stuff I would never be good at,
Thank you.
Like not good at all. Like I should outsource that every time.
Well, I go off script because I don't even have a script, but that's a great observation, right? So when we're entrepreneurs, we're a coach, guide, expert. We start a small business. It doesn't matter what it is. We take that skill set we did in corporate And we're like, hey, I'm a really good graphic designer. I'm a really good AI person. And then we're like, I'm going to do this myself. I want to have the kudos and build my own business, leave my family a legacy, and ultimately reach freedom, which is really the ultimate goal of what, in my interpretation, is what entrepreneur enterprise is all about. Is building a business for your goals. And you can work this hard of your life so you can enjoy this much. Most time in corporate, you got to work this long so you can hopefully enjoy this much, but you can't because you're broke and you got bad health and everything else, right? So people do that. But here's the thing. They didn't realize the 99% of the other stuff somebody else did: accounting, marketing, sales. And boy, it really crushes a lot of people. And I'm sorry if it's corny, but hey, I believe it. I've seen it. We complain about injustice. We complain about all these things that are real life. And people like us, people like you listening, man, that's what this is about, right? You could do it. And now we built a pathway for you to be able to do it. Now, whether you do it or not, it's on you, right? In my opinion. But now you don't have an excuse, right? Now you got an excuse. Now you have what you need to get it done. All right, anybody want to chime in on that one? Because that's just from the heart. It's not like I'm not a spokesman for Entrepreneur Enterprise yet, but I am. And that's why I'm here. That's just straight up here. Anybody want to chime in? Or?
Yeah, man. I mean, that's 100%. I mean, what Brian said, I mean, you've got to, you have that vision, you have that ability, you have that opportunity to contribute to the world. And, entrepreneurship, if you think about it, is really a creative outlet. You know what I'm saying? It's like people that are entrepreneurs, they're always entrepreneurs. They start something little and then they, it's like, oh, it's the next thing. It's the next thing. It's the next thing. Yeah. I was talking to a guy just recently, about the idea. It's like, hey, you know what? I'm 7 years old. I'm going to retire, but I got this one more idea that I want to kick off, and let's have a conversation about that. And that's the awesome thing about what we do, and the way that the world is changing, the speed is changing. There's always going to be new opportunities. People are just like, oh my gosh, AI is going to take over the world, and I'm going to lose my job. There's AI has created more opportunities than we've seen, and the speed of technology is just changing so much. There's so much opportunity out there. And as Brian said, it's like we have an opportunity here in the entrepreneur experience to be able to grab resources that we need to build our companies. None of us is good at everything. I've been doing what I do. I've been an entrepreneur for about 30 years. I know how to do a lot of stuff. I don't know how to do everything. And there are things that I just don't want to do. So we find the who.
You see, that's it. And that's how it happened to me. I mean, it just happened to me. Now we have an ecosystem where it's going to happen intentionally.
Yes.
If you do your part. Again, this ain't a magic pill, no get rich pie in the sky. That don't exist. All right. This is real. To me, here's how I describe it. When I looked at what was coming on, because we think we have a business problem and a marketing problem, right, Rick? And we do have to work on that. But for me, and this is where Brian and other folks like Louisa and there shine, because I had a inner confidence problem, self-worth issue. I had all them negative tapes that Shanda's talking about all the time, right? That's telling you got 1 foot on the brake, 1 foot on the gas. That's and here's what I found. Once all this gets aligned, man, the sales calls, the marketing, man, that just starts jiving. It's not garbage. It is absolutely not. I didn't read a self-help book. Y'all know me, right? I don't like it. I want stuff that works, dadgummit. Yeah. So, and that's what the brilliance is. So it's kind of like, here's how I'm going to put it. It was created with the attitude of, y'all remember the Wizard of Oz? Remember when they pulled the curtain back? That's kind of what it's like. Hey, how did we take all of it? Because we don't know where to start. We don't know what to get. We buy this course. I mean, I did it too. I started a business and got a website. Now, why did I get a website? Because everybody said you need a website, right, Brian? Okay, the who said that and why, right? And so there's a logical thinking. It's like if I talked to Rick, he wouldn't have said that. He said you need paid clients before how you gonna buy the website, right? Things like this. And I had people tell me that, but it was sporadic. I had to still dig through. I'd listen to this guru, and then this one would say that do it this way instead. That's what we face. Audience, chime in on this. This is your show, and if you ask, go ahead,
Mike. I've spent a lot of money hiring gurus and following other people's coaching programs to get into the private room, pretty elite levels too, like to the tune of $400K. And there's a private room at the end, and they're like, I know how to solve your problem. And they really do believe that because it works for them. And then I go to do it, and it's like, it's missing a piece. And so the big idea right now, Entrepreneur 1.0 was like the Ayn Rands of the world, right? Atlas Shrugged, those types of things. You know what I mean? 2.0 was like Steve Jobs and Phil Knight with Nike. They started bringing spirituality into this. I put Tony Robbins into that too. That was a big deal. We're in the age of Aquarius. That's like the self-gnosis, the knowing. And so what I found, what $400,000 bought me was knowing that the guide that I needed is already in me. And if it resonates, it's probably right. And I get to go experiment. No one has the answer for me. So what I needed was a formula, like a protocol, principles, values that I could discover for myself what's uniquely mine. Not Alex Hormozi, love him, not Russell Brunson either. Those things work for those guys. But like when I trained directly with Wim Hof doesn't do the Wim Hof method. He does what's right for him in the moment. But he taught me so much about being present. So Entrepreneur 3.0 is trusting yourself. And it also requires, like this is not optional anymore. Emotional intelligence, that's good. That's Entrepreneur 2.0. But really to compete at this level and thrive with AI and those things, we need spiritual intelligence. I don't mean religion. I mean tapping into cosmic intelligence. Like in the same way that the art gets downloaded and those epiphanies, you're like, oh, I'm in the shower. Like I know how to solve this problem. I can't force it anymore. That's 2.0. So that's what we're talking about and incorporating that into everything that we're doing.
Yeah, I love it. And, again, it's not about saying the other things aren't good or none of that stuff, guys. You know me. But what we're saying is that you got to use the right tool for the right job. You got to put the horse before the cart. And we just don't even know how to start. And it's even scale ups. People who got success at this level, they struggle to go farther. And all we wanted to do was say, like, here's the resources. Here's what you need. Pick what you need, figure it out. Like if you come into my session, and we'll get to this, guys, you're like, what are you talking about? If we get to my session and it come to find out you don't even want to network, you hate networking, maybe you don't need to do it first. Well, then you go to Louise's session, right? Maybe it's something else. And this ecosystem is brilliantly designed. We got the strategists down here, right? Larry's mind to Rick Meekin's brilliance there. And it's designed for all people to win. So I don't have to be like, well, just stay in mind so I'll get paid or something. No, man, you need to go here. So it's in the best interest of others. And I love that. Not that others aren't. Well, we designed this for folks like us because we know what kind of hell it was, right, to do this on our own. And now we can go out there and get people really, really fired up. So I appreciate that. And let me ask you why I got you here, if you don't mind. You deal with the inner workings of people. That's really what you do. And you put in your own words, but you've seen firsthand how stress can paralyze a business owner, right? You've seen it and you've seen it in others. If you don't mind, can you walk people through your quickest emergency procedure, right? So how do you transform anxiety when they're in the middle of it? When their anxiety's going up, their stress level, They're mad, what can they do?
I learned this jumping out of airplanes at night. That's how I came up with this because that's terrifying to me. And so step one, I have like a little gun, right? And so the gun points to my nose first. Take a breath in. And in that breath in, it's not personal. It's just the game, right? Step one. Step two is the heart. How can I be grateful for this experience? If I can be uncomfortable and grateful at the same time, I've won. That's it. Take a breath. Say thank you. How can I love this too? That's my fastest battle-proven emergency procedure for how do I get my mind back. And then what that does is it widens the wedge between stimulus and response. That's the Viktor Frankl quote. The only freedom I have is the space between stimulus and response. And it is in this spot I have my only freedom, and it's my freedom to choose and to grow. That's it.
Yeah, I love it. And I think that's Sabrina, LinkedIn user maybe. Sabrina, we're going to come back. I will put this up here. But thank you for the question. And let's see. Because, and by the way, people may not know that. Tell them your background, right? Navy Special Forces.
Yeah, I was a Navy bomb technician once upon a time. So if you've seen like the Hurt Locker, it was that, but with better hair. That's an Army joke, Yeah, Navy beat Army. Sorry.
Rick, you Army?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh man, thank you for both of y'all. Thank you for your service and sacrifice, gentlemen. Appreciate you, man. And wow. So let's. I tell you what. Let's go to Shanda, right, before she leaves again. All right.
Sorry, I had to send kids off. You know how that is. It never stops. So
only people without kids get annoyed by that. Like everybody else with kids, like, yeah, me too.
Yeah, and I homeschool, so there's extra layers of extra kidness, and so I enjoy that. I love that, and so everybody has to, roll with it. So,
Oh, real quick, I have to tell everybody it's your fault. Last Wednesday,
of
so
course.
my little shy 6-year-old comes in, and Shanda gets her all excited to be on the camera, gets past her shyness. She comes into the networking. Brian's encouraging her. So then I get on my live stream last week, and guess who comes back and pulls the curtain back and just takes over my show, man? That was
That's my
your fault.
girl.
Oh man, like they even got her broken out of her shell. I've been doing that for 6 years. I couldn't do it. You did it in like 6 hours. All right. So tell everybody, AI is your space. So tell folks what you do, and then I'll ask you a question.
Okay, so I'm going to loop this all together because there's several things that I heard. So if it's a little bit of a Seinfeld episode for a second, that makes the point at the end. Just bear with me. Rick said something awesome about people being concerned about AI taking their job. AI is not going to take your job. Who is going to take your job is someone who knows how to use AI. Now, the fun part with that is I could make a course tonight and teach you everything I know about AI. Well, in 3 days, it's done. It's moot. It doesn't matter. It's not relevant anymore. It grows that fast. It changes that fast. So it then becomes the question of what can it not do today? What's it going to do in 3 months? What's it going to do in 6 months? What's it going to do in a year? How forward thinking can you be and start layering out those protocols for then for what you want to do with everything you come across as being what stands in your way as being an entrepreneur? All those roadblocks, those things that you don't like doing. People tell me, oh, I love your Facebook posts. I love that you do all this. I hate social media. If you only knew how much I hate doing those posts. I hate doing videos. This kind of stuff, podcasts, oh yeah. Talking, throwing ideas back and forth, love that all day long. But making a post, I get so stressed. But you can do all that with AI, all of it. And then the rest of it, it's kind of like having a fractional team for free, depending on which platform you go with. But you can make AI do all the hard work for you. If you need to do the forecasting for revenue, if you need to have that pipeline gen built out, instead of hiring those companies that say, oh, I'm going to get you 1,000 leads a month, and us who've been there know that that's crap and it doesn't work because we've seen it for 10 years and still doesn't work. It's never worked.
I've done it for 10 years. It doesn't work. Trust me. That's where my hair went.
Yeah, but there's all these ideas that you can bounce off of AI, and you can make it work for what's relevant for each special thing, and you're not paying someone 10 grand a month to get nowhere. That's what I love about AI. And there's really, within reason, there's not limits.
Well, I was going to ask you, people are confused, and yeah, they are. And there's so much out there. It's too much information. See, today's expert, in my opinion, they're not the ones that have the exclusive information. We're the ones that help you weed through 6 billion pages of Google searches and live streams and all the courses and say, okay, you start here. And then when you fix this, like a coach and a quarterback, all right, you master the play, Rick, and then you run the next play and you run the next play. God, what I wouldn't give to have that back in the day. And now, and so what you're saying makes total sense to me. And audience, chime in. This is your show, guys. Hey, learn, take notes, spread the word. And thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. There's a lot of things going on. It's spring break all over the place. It means a lot that you're here, folks. I do. The Hounds are the best. I mean, I didn't saying that because I'm a leader. They really are. All right. I am here with you guys because of these type of people, good-hearted, high-level entrepreneurs. And man, thank you. So what's one specific way, Shanda, that you've helped an entrepreneur? Tell us a real time that you saved them time and money and help them move forward so they can build the business and do more.
Okay, so I'll give you an example from a year ago so you can understand how far it's come. About a year ago, I was running a real estate business in Boston. I'm in Texas. And essentially, we were trying to find the duplicates in our CRM. Your CRM is your online system, keeping all your leads and your current clients and potential clients, all that. And I contacted the company and said, hey, we've got 18,000 leads. I'm seeing 4 and 5 dupes all over the place. I'm a tech girl. I got to have clean data. Everything's got to be clean, streamlined, perfection. I need to know exactly what's going where, how, and I'm not spamming people or multiply sending things. And they said, well, just go through it by hand and see which ones line up. And I said, I'm sorry, are we on XP? Like, is this like 2007? Like, that doesn't make sense. Talk me through that. And they said, well, that's all we have right now. So I got on ChatGPT and downloaded all of our leads to a CSV file, had it run through the gamut and find all the duplicates. It cleaned it out, re-downloaded it for me in less than 2 minutes. This was a year ago. It does it like in split seconds now. That would have taken me weeks. And I'm neurodivergent. I can do multiple tasks at one time. So I could have probably gotten through it in 3 or 4 days if I made myself, if that was my only task. So to have that one thing, it's done in less than 2 minutes, and then everybody's happy. And you didn't have to outsource it. You didn't have to hire a new VA. No one's having a coronary over something silly. You're on to the next thing. Let's make the money.
That's right. Now you can take the people that you do hire, instead of having them do that, now they can go and do some more like revenue generating, market share growing business. Yeah, that's sensical stuff.
So then I went back to the company and I said, hey, this is what I did. And they go, oh, that's so smart. We're going to make that our new SOP. I'm like, you're welcome. Can we get a month for free since I just, did your job for you?
Yeah, no kidding. Man, I love it. So again, somebody's struggling with this. Go get guidance. That's why we're here. And by the way, look, shameless plug. I don't care. I mean, that's why we're here. We're talking about this. redpillpathway.com/events. We'll pull it up here in a second. There's a 7-day guest pass. And pick me, because it's going to ask you who brought you here. Pick me. Me.
Okay.
Yeah, because I want to put that on my refrigerator. All right. So anyway, thank you for that. All right, we're going to go to Rick now. The man, the myth, the legend. All right. Tell us if you don't mind, because I want to get into this framework you created a little bit. But give us your backdrop. What do you do? Where you came from, Rick? Appreciate you being here.
Man, that's the question I always ask my guests. Now it's coming full circle. I'm a business strategist, and what I do is I work with companies and I help them figure out, how they can get from point A to point Z. And what I've done is I've put together different frameworks, just depending on the companies and the individuals, that actually enables them to go through the process of growth. I guess that's like the easy story. Is that good enough, or you want me to go a little deeper?
Since you ask, well, I'll tell you what, Rick. No, that's great, because you're being modest, man. I even had friends and people go, "Oh, Rick Meekins." I'm like, wow. I like the fact that I don't know stuff, man. Ignorance is bliss, ain't it right? I was like, I just say crazy stuff. I was like, well, I wouldn't have said that, but I'm joking. But no, you're a good man. You've done a lot. You have done a lot, and it's really fun to have you here. But you have was it RPOW growth framework? Is that yours?
That is mine. Yeah.
It's transform businesses, right? At all different levels. What's one piece of that framework, if you don't mind sharing it, that even a brand new entrepreneur could implement? Like what's that thing that can make a difference? What's your best advice?
It's interesting, because it kind of goes back to what Brian was saying, and I'm gonna talk about a couple of different things, but the most important thing as an entrepreneur, in my opinion, is to really understand yourself, because you've got to be able to understand, not just your strengths and weaknesses, what you're good at, and I'm not talking about your craft. I'm talking about you as an individual. Okay. Because you've got to be able to get the right people around you. If you don't have that balance of your capabilities and the abilities around you, you're never going to scale. We don't go into business and say, hey, I want to be a one-person shop my entire life. Most of us don't. We say, like you were saying earlier, it's like, hey, I want to build a company so I can build wealth, so I can, at some point retire, sell my business, et cetera, et cetera. We can't do that as individuals. We can't build companies that are completely built around just our capabilities. Okay. We have to be thinking down the road. It's like, okay, if I'm out for a week, if I'm out for a month, is my company going to continue to run? The way that we do that is we build systems and processes into the business, which is really, kind of foundational to the RPOW framework that we put together. It starts with, okay, who am I? Who's my team? And then we say, okay, how do I build this company so that the team can operate the company?
Yeah. Horse before the cart. That's the redneck way to say it, right? There you go. Okay. Yeah. Well, do you mind if you all want to chime in? I think this is Sabrina. I don't know. If LinkedIn user, tell us who you are. Sorry about that. But what is the top thing when getting your business going that you should actually invest money in outside of self-development? So this person already knows that self-development is key. Thank goodness. But I've got an answer. I think I know Rick's answer. So who wants to go first? Don't be shy. not all at once.
Well, how much money are we talking? Are we talking $20, $100, $10,000? Because that change. If I had $20, it's going to ChatGPT every time. Making
All
custom
day.
GPTs that I can sell, work on myself, and save me time. Time is how do I get my time back? That's a great lens to look through. The second one is how can I be part of an ecosystem where I can outsource what I suck at to people who are world class. So that if I had $120 a month, that's where that money would be going. Maybe the red pill pathway. That's all. The investment is to have access to this.
Right. All right. Who else wants to chime in? That was good. I'm glad I didn't go first.
Rick, are you being nice? Or you want me to pounce? I'll pounce. I'm being nice.
Did you see how we stir up?
Okay. So everything that Muka said, and I'm going to shamelessly plug him because he did not. He created a custom GPT that I have been helping with as far as training it. I love training AI. It's perfect for anybody who's neurospicy. You should get into it. It's great. Warp speed does not even begin to describe what I've done. How long have I had access to it? 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. I have done literally at least 6 months of coaching without bugging Muka constantly with my pings and my million ideas every second of what about this? I have access to a portion of him, and then I get to meet with him twice a day. And then we can go through everything I learned. And he's like, you did all this today? I'm like, yeah. Well, let's add this. Let's do this to the GPT. Okay, so let's say you need that. That should be on your Christmas list for sure. The other thing is, depending on how much money you have to spend, ChatGPT all the way. Take the $20 all day, every month, take it. And then the next thing is, once you get to that point, hiring the agents. And most people don't even know what an AI agent is. That's a whole other conversation that we would have to get into. That would take a lot of time, and I don't want to hijack, but that's your second. Your third is your VA. And then you can branch out from there what you need. But every single company and every single entrepreneur, your needs are going to be different. So if somebody's trying to sell you everything in a box, it's one of those marketing things. It is absolute junk. Don't do it. Everything should be custom to you.
I agree with that. I do think, it's customized. Like, I mean, I don't want to wear a Brian suit. I want to wear a suit that's made for me, right? I mean, I would look.
I can't wear Brian's suit. I can't even get my toe in Brian's suit. I can't. That's a hierarchy. Just like you, Mike, and just like you, Rick. Cool. Like, we all have our special niche, and we can't fit into it.
I say it all the time. I'm like, that's why I got Dr. CJ. I don't have to go get 600 doctor degrees. I got her. Like I got a boat that's got a bunch of holes in it, and they plug them. That's what I loved about it. People say, well, because I wasn't sure how to communicate it first, what entrepreneur enterprise is. And I said, just imagine the Hounds with a whole bunch of successful people who built from dirt and passion and no glue. And they come together after all their experience and they put together something so we don't have to struggle the same way. That's it. That's why I'm so happy to be a part of this, because that's it. I couldn't do it myself. Are you crazy? I did the Hounds. That took everything I got. I'm still growing, and I got people. But now here we are, pretty much like merging the ecosystems, right? We can do way more together. And that's what I think too. We won't go in the weeds, but man, instead of competition, we chose collaboration. And I think that, says it all. We could be out there doing good by ourselves, but man, together, like the X-Men, it's unbelievable. And that's what excites me. So, and I'll go because I'm a founding partner, and I do the networking clarity session because we think it's just collecting, business cards and, just kind of this old stuff. And, oh, well, nothing ever happens. And, I found a way. How did I find that way? Because I didn't want to be homeless or try to crush tin cans. I had to find a way. And it works for people like me. I hate hardcore hunting style mentality. And I'm not knocking you. Look, if you're great at that, good. I am jealous. I ain't making it up. But I wanted to go out there and attract people. I wanted to go out there and bring value, generate curiosity. People come to me because they say, hey, I'm curious. I'm seeing goodness here. Right. And that's what we teach in here. So if you have a problem, you're like, hey, I know I can get contacts. I know I can, build relationships with people online, LinkedIn, whatever. I just don't know how. And that was the problem I had, Rick. I thought I stunk. I would go out there and DM people and they'd be mad at me and try to pepper spray me over Zoom and stuff. And I thought I sucked. You know what it was? I didn't suck. I brought a daggum football game to a baseball game. I brought a football to a baseball game. Now, how the hell are you supposed to win the game if you don't know the rules and how it's played? That's why this exists. That's why I'm so excited. I can't shut up because now we got the playbook. You're like, hey, here's how you do it. And like Shanda said, customized, man. So no, I'm not over here selling. I'm just excited because I never thought in a million years that I'd be a part of something like this that can help people, because I don't want anyone to go through the entrepreneur hell I went through. That's why I'm so excited. It is. It's a hard thing to have so much passion and want to do something and then just struggle, right? Internally, externally. And then you got people and your tapes in your head telling you you're crazy. It could be a lonely road. And I'm not overemphasizing that. That's why the Hounds exist, right? I mean, we got successful people with money, but they don't feel like they belong. I mean, there's a lot to this. And I'm really excited about it. So there's my speech, there's my thing. And we got another question. I'm going to go find it. But let me ask you this. So one thing that makes this entrepreneur experience, different than it's a different ecosystem, comprehensive, right? So each of y'all pick whoever wants, you can fight over who goes first, right? But share one specific resource or tool inside the entrepreneur enterprise or experience that you believe gives entrepreneurs the biggest bang for their buck. Like, what's one of the wow, that's awesome. I know it's all awesome, but what is the thing that stuck out to you personally?
Only one?
I'll give you 2 or 3 or 6.
Okay, that's like. Well, you gotta have Muka, period. You gotta have Muka. You have to have Louisa. And then, oh my gosh, 3? Oh, that's so hard. Jesse Rick. I did 4. Because you have to. Everyone has their special niche, and they are also great at what they do. And they're so willing to listen and filter through the parts that you don't know are important and tell you which parts aren't, and then tell you, okay, focus here, and then we'll reevaluate. Because, you got Rick. I mean, operations. I mean, man, he's your guy. Like, how can he not be your guy? If you need the headspace, Muka's your guy. If you need to work on head trash, I mean, that's Louisa and Judy. I mean, you can't filter through. They're all so great at what they do.
That's just it, right? Like, each person has a unique prescription for thriving. I don't know what that is for you. I would be very ignorant to pick those for you. I'm going to pick them for me, though. First one, I'm picking me, the Invincibility Dojo, because I'm a coward by default. That's why I did triathlons. That's why I surfed 12-foot waves. That's why I jumped out of airplanes at night to prove I wasn't a coward. I struggle with fear every single day. And so by teaching it, I'm actually on earth teaching the thing I came to earth to learn. And the second thing, I would choose Mike. This attraction marketing thing that he understands so innately is incredible. You get immediate results if I have the courage to show up who I'm called to show up as. I know how to connect to the right types of people like Mike knows how to do. Unstoppable. That's a phase 1 answer. If you're here to change the world, I'm meeting with Larry, and I'm meeting with Rick, and I'm meeting with Mark in that order. How do I penetrate the market? Why does what I do matter? And how do I talk about it? Mark is such a fantastic storyteller in that. Oh. So just in those 2 scenarios, the level of the game kind of dictates, hey, who should I meet with? But it's going to be different for each person.
Oh, absolutely. And guess who's coming in here? Guess who's got the monster Shanda created. Wave, little monster.
Where's my Emma? Give me that girl.
Hey, what's up, Emma?
There
she
gorgeous.
Is.
There she is.
All right.
There's a little girl missing you, just so you know.
Go find your teeth. Your teeth are missing. No, Daddy's chair. Get out of here. Get out of here. No. All right. Well, that's that. I guess Mom's busy. All right. So, all right. Hey, who else wants to go? Brian went. You went. Rick. This is a
I guess I'm the only one left. I mean, honestly speaking, I'm a who not how kind of person. So strategically, I'm always looking at, okay, who can get this done for me? Because we've always got, some business is always changing. My needs are always changing. So I couldn't even begin. I spent a lot of time with Muka. We've had, lots of conversations, and just like, you know, just got me in a lot of good headspaces. Mike, your stuff is just like, wow, oh my gosh, you know, Shonda AI, we got to have some very, very long conversations.
Go. Tell me when.
But you know, it's interesting when I talk to Larry, you know, as Brian was saying, it's like, you know, he's got this level, he's got this thinking that just goes into a very, very different place. You know, me, I'm more of the type of person that says, okay, I'm going to take your vision, I'm going to do something with it. But he's just like, there's no limits on, you know, where he's going with that, and to see that type of creativity and passion, it's really, really, I've not encountered that before, and I think it's a beautiful thing, and I love the way that he just kind of like drops it out there and just kind of steps back, says, this is my vision, go do something with that, you know.
Yeah, but I think that was well said, man. Did you want to chime in? I feel like I cut people off. No?
Who'd you want to?
I thought somebody was going to speak, but all right, we're good. Usually, see, that's what y'all don't get. Usually on my shows, people just like, you know, one dog, you know, 6 dogs, one food bowl. We're all hungry, but you guys have manners.
Well, so let me talk to that just for a second, man.
Go ahead.
So we have actually repped this. So there's a lot of communities that are out there. And so one of the things really important to me and Larry as a way to smoothly encourage, not even resonance, I'm going to say coherence, like a finely tuned symphony. The first thing is like tuning out opinions. How can I share my experience and my expertise only? And if it isn't that, we're not sharing stuff that's going to be divisive. And like the hardest thing in the world, like we're all super excited to be here, is to take a breath and let the breath just like ring just for a second. So the other person knows that they've been hurt. And we've repped this a lot for the fit and the finish and the feel of how does it feel being around us, right? So it's not an accident that we're not all fighting for the food bowl, because we rep this every time we meet. So different experience than any other networking collaborative space I've ever been in.
Absolutely. If you don't mind, and Brian, if you want to take point on this, folks, chime in on this, because I want to walk people through. So, you know, what's the process? What's the daily, what's it look like to come into, even the guest pass, but all of, you know, entrepreneur experience. So let's say I pulled up the website. Oh, and by the way, I didn't get the answer. I thought it was yours. And it is right now, because that's what I needed. I needed to get all of this and all these monkeys in here in this mind. And I had to get all that. I had to solidify it. And it happened quickly. And kind of eerily quickly. Like we just met, and then boom, man, we were in Vegas, right? So yeah, and I'm glad it did. But what's funny is every time I think, ooh, that's the thing I want to hear, or that's the person I want to learn from, I listen to somebody else, I'm like, that's it. So like there's too many options almost. But hey, we have time. We designed this so you don't have to, you know, get it all at once, right? You can take your time. So let me pull this up, and if you don't mind, Brian, what does a typical week look like in the entrepreneur experience? Like, you know, what are some touch points? What are some things? What kind of courses do we have? Walk us through it, brother.
Yeah, happy to do that. First thing every single morning, 9:00 Eastern, is my Invincibility Dojo. It's really ours. I say that. The people in there are my teachers, actually, how I refine my posture with fear versus terror versus, you know, 3, 2, 1, go. So that's every morning, Monday through Friday. The next thing on Mondays is Larry's More Money Now. So if you have a desire to connect with more businesses, drive more revenue, the old sales tactics, they don't work anymore. Industry's out. I wanted Salesman of the Year using the old stuff. That doesn't work anymore. And so Larry leads that at noon on Monday. And then what else we have in the afternoon on Monday? Let me pull up my schedule really quick.
Mine's
hey, while you do
afternoon on Mondays, but we haven't nailed down a time. And then there's Luis's too.
And then also we have Shine's next at 2 p.m. Eastern. If you've ever studied like Jeet Kune Do, she is the formless form for entrepreneurship. Her resume doesn't make sense if you look at it through the logical mind. It's through the heart. So everything works. There's no one right way to be financially free and liberated and traveling the world the way she does. She's absolutely the best person to teach that, facilitate that. And then, like you said, we have Shanda and Jesse's AI tech stack meeting. That's next level. It's going to save you years, and that's not an overstatement. And then finally, Monday, 7:00 Eastern, is the Purpose Clarity session. with my dear friend Louisa, the Billionaire Whisperer. One session with her, your relationship with money would be really, really different. So that's just Monday. So pick and choose what you want to go to. They're an hour each. Tuesday, Invincibility Dojo. We have a Summit Club. That's for our members. That's like a support group for entrepreneurs, since like our friends and family don't understand how crazy we are to keep networking and working at this stuff. The afternoon, 3 o'clock, we have the Invincibility Dojo. That's my afternoon tune-up session. And then Jesse has his technology relationship session. So if you've got like cybersecurity stuff, you want to know which right tech stack or equipment for your team to be using, he does a great job. He's with CDML. And then he also has another deal where he's helping like grandmoms with their IT stuff. So that's Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, same thing, Invincibility Dojo. Then we have a head trash session. This is my favorite session every week. If you have head trash, stuff that just needs to be taken out, that stuff's limiting the downloads, the inspiration, and also traction. Judy does a great job in that.
Oh, Judy.
Then we've got Mike's networking clarity session. That's absolutely next level, followed up by the Invincibility Dojo. Thursday, Invincibility at 9. We have Entre X and Red Pill Labs for our members in that. That won't be part of the guest pass. But think of like TED Talks, that's Entre X. And then Red Pill Labs is figuring out what's next in the marketplace. So it really takes all of our brains and experiences together so that not only can we kind of figure out what's next, we can predict it by doing it. 1 o'clock is my other favorite one. That's with Maria Petusik. She's next level. She did brand strategy for a little company called Mercedes-Benz. It's at 1 o'clock. We have a 3 o'clock Invincibility session in that. And then we get to Friday. Friday, 9 a.m. Invincibility. And then my queen, my Bashert, Yael, she leads the business strategy session. So that's like tax prep, tax mitigation, business structure, those types of things. So that's our week in a nutshell. There's other workshops. There's other facilitated group and individual sessions too. That's on our tier 2, tier 3 campus. So just keeping it to like the guest pass and the year membership. So those are all our workshops for our founding partners.
Yeah, man. Anybody else want to add anything? Because you just, wow, you like Rain Man.
Nailed
it. Yeah, he did. I was over here messing the picture slides up. He didn't even skip a beat, man. You have put so much blood, sweat, and tears into this, man. It shows. Thank you so much.
Dude, I'm like to the point of tears. We've created an incredible culture behind the scenes. Like this is some Wizard of Oz shit. And like, if you ever gone to Disney and it just works, well, the blood, sweat, and tears and the team that we built, actually taking ourselves through this. Larry and I piloted this for a year and a half before we shared it with the world. And so just so excited to have, your community. If I may talk to the Hounds, I'm part of that. I'd love to have you. Like, it's like having a beautiful church and like the right people haven't seen the basilica yet. They haven't seen the stained glass. They haven't heard the music. And the music really can't be made until you're there. So looking forward to having you in the space.
Well said. That's it. We're excited. We're not pushy people. Everybody knows that on our end. But man, when I see something worth shining, I got to talk. I see a lot of negative out there, a lot of stuff. And I don't ever say negative, but boy, y'all know me. I go back behind the scenes and start making the antidotes, right? And now, I'm not alone. Look at the brilliance out here. And these are high level folk. These are down to earth people. Like, y'all see in the comments? Do you all see the comments? This is the Hounds, y'all. Y'all see the funny stuff coming out of these people? Man, I'm not alone. It's a good thing, right? So let me ask you this, because you talked about culture and everybody knows that community is like my thing, right? So a lot of things promise nowadays, because I was doing community before it was like a thing. Right? I just did it on accident, to be honest. So now everybody wants to promise that, but then oftentimes it's a ghost town. There's nothing going on behind the scenes. And we've structured this thing a lot differently, right? So how are some ways that people can come in and really get interaction with the founders, the ambassador members, all these coaches, all these tools and resources, right? Whoever wants to take point on that one, but maybe Brian. But how is this structured so people are engaged, getting real value from each other?
Depends on what the need is, right? So if we're talking symptoms, right? So what are symptoms? I need more revenue, right? I need my marketing to be converting, those types of things. We've got a 90-day quick start. It's less than $500. That's a steal. I've been in the coaching transformation world for a long time, both first as a client and now as a practitioner for a lot of years. Meaningful change takes time. And so like to really, I found with the entrepreneur experience, it's probably one of the greatest growth journeys I could go on. Right. So like, 500 years ago, I'd be a samurai. If I could choose like my path, how to be forged into be the man of my dreams, it'd be like samurai or Shaolin monk,
Right.
In the 1800s, I'd be a pirate, figuring out Nassau. Right. And today's day and age is entrepreneurship. And in the corporate America, it is possibly too good. Jealousy is a thing. Robert Greene and the Laws of Human Nature. First line of that book is, these are the laws of human nature. Ignore at your own peril. Jealousy is a thing. It is possibly too good in corporate America. And what I found in entrepreneurship, I can never be good enough. Like Shanda says, wrote the book on AI. 3 days later, it's obsolete. Right. And so it takes a year. It takes a year to be around and showing up consistently. Rick and I have a daily lifting habit requirement. And, it's not the 5x5 once on a Monday in January to get the gains by June, right? It's like, what did I do on Monday? What did I do on Tuesday? What did I do on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? Did I rest on Saturday and Sunday?
Did you take your supplements? Did you drink your water?
Water? Did I not drink my water in my case right now? Right. So it takes time. And then it also takes focus. So the 90-day quick start's rad. The 12-month, come to the campus, check it out. Your buffet. What do you need this week? You figure it out. What's right for you? And then when you really want to focus, you want to get results fast. We have 8 to 12 week workshops, deep dives to get you those results. And then you've got the whole year to use those. You've got the whole year to become the man or woman of your dreams in this space, not alone, but together. That's the key thing here in this, the collaborative. I need one person to believe in me in order to achieve my dreams. And we have a whole ecosystem. Like, it's insane how stacked the deck is in your favor.
I saw that. Y'all saw me with Tanya. You know how I met Tanya Everhart, brand face? I made a comment on a friend's show, fellow Hound, and she said, did that say redneck financial coach? Oh, you gotta be kidding, right? She saw that because she's a branding expert. It'd be like Rick saying something, looking at something going, oh, right track, wrong train. I can help that. And she did. And that was one-offs though. Like, I had to wait 7 months until I found someone else to do that, and this is why we created this thing. I popped in and I thought I was going to be teaching. I've learned a hell of a lot more than I've taught already, man. And it's accelerated me. So that's why we're here. Anytime I got something to share that can change folks' lives and help them get over this whole internal struggle of how do I do it? Well, now we got it. Now you just got to do it. You got to show it. We can't give you the determination. We can't give you the resilience. We can't give you all of that. We can help you find it, but we can't give it to you. So if you're already out there with it, raw talent, raw passion, you just want to get it done. That's why we made this. And if you're already doing good, you want to go to great. Hey, you're really going to benefit. Right? You come in on the second, third floor. But my point is that this has been scaled. So whatever you're at, whatever you can, it doesn't matter. Well, I have no money. Well, you go crush tin cans, you come in. But as you scale up, invest up. Like, that's what I learned. I was like, I got a little money. I start putting it to the investor. I start investing in the business, invest in myself, right? Then more money would come. I take more money, invest. And that's the mantra here. So we wanted to meet people where they're at. So Brian, well said, brother. And I appreciate that. So, all right, we're going to pick on Rick. He got away. He's been quiet. He's enjoying this too much.
He's been real quiet. I'm not used to that.
I'm enjoying it. Just sitting back and relaxing, thinking about some iced tea and a beach.
Rick's that Sigma male. He's not the alpha, man. He sits back and watches like a silverback gorilla. He knows everything that's going on. He waits and then
he watches all the moving pieces. Yeah.
Right.
Love it.
Yeah, that's why he's a strategist. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, the strategist.
Well played, Mike.
Yeah, and that was my word. I didn't even answer the question. When you said, what's one of the most important things that you should invest in? My answer is strategy. Because a lot of people just go out and do tactics. And what's the art of war say? Brian knows. Tactics without strategy is the noise before defeat. Right? So
preach it, brother.
That's business. No, I drove off the cliff 16 times. I don't want y'all to do. That's awful. Like, and that's why we created the Hounds. That's why we came together, entrepreneur experience, man. We want to make sure that those who are hungry and ready, man, because I mean, it's no joke. Folks in the Hounds, I can't even get through the comments. Y'all are great. But that's why we're here, because people have $5,000 and they'll drop that $5,000 to pursue that dream. And most of the times and not, it's the wrong place, or it's the wrong thing, or it's not even honest. And you know, it's a mix. I did it.
You have no idea if it's the right thing.
You don't even know what
it's like on the other side of the curtain. It's in the next private room. You know, the 7-day guest pass is so great because it's like, you'll know for yourself if this resonates or not. You know, you don't have to be sold. You'll know. Yes or absolutely not for me.
Absolutely. And that's what we want. We don't want you in here wasting time and money with us. We want you in here kicking butt, taking names, man, making something. That's what. So if we're not a good fit, you know, like if I'm bald and I'm going to a hair salon, it's a waste of money. Maybe a hat shop, right? We talk about that all the time. And that's the whole, you know, mindset behind this thing. So all right, I'm going to stop because we're going to come back. We're going to and by the way, we're going to have the man himself. All right, Larry Cole. And okay, you know, I can't say her last name. All the Hounds know I can't even say like Rick half the time. So what is her name? Whose
name, Mike?
Oh my God, I blanked on the. Oh, Louisa.
About Louisa?
She's coming on twice.
Yeah, her last name is Billionaire Whisper. I don't even try.
It's just Billionaire Whisper.
Yeah, it's
Louisa. Everybody knows who Louisa is.
Good. It's not just me. Look, Rick's smart. He's like, man, I'm not even gonna. Don't even ask me. All right.
That's where it's going to say Shandy. Just don't do it. Just Louisa.
All right. Well, we had a lot of fun in the comments. I'm going to try to get to them when I ask this last question, but we've only scratched the surface, folks, of what the entrepreneur experience offers. That's why I'm so excited. I would have done this myself, but that's impossible. So that's why I'm excited about it. But so for each one of you, we'll pick on Rick first. All right. Just share one transformation that you've witnessed, right, in this ecosystem, right, that surprised even you, because you've seen it all, man. I mean, few people can truly say that. So what's one thing that you saw here that really surprised you? You know, something that shows, hey, what's possible when entrepreneurs get this right, man, when they got the right support at the right price.
You know, it was interesting. I saw someone that they had money issues from the perspective. A lot of business owners have money issues. They don't really know how to generate money. They don't necessarily know how to sell their product, et cetera, et cetera. And I saw someone, and it almost looked like an overnight process, you know, where they were very, very confused about what they were offering. They were very, very good, you know, at what they did, but they couldn't really articulate very well what they were trying to sell. So if you don't know what you're selling, it's very hard to find the person to sell it to. And of course, you can't create a pricing strategy around that. And, you know, speaking to this person over probably like a 2-week period, it was something like, oh, I had an epiphany. You know, I know what I do now. I know what I'm selling now. And then you can attach value to that. And then you can attach that to your customer. You can find the right customer that's willing to pay for you. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Wait a minute, Rick. No, ain't it like for a few? Or what about me, though? That works for other people who are better, smarter, faster, stronger, richer. What about me, Rick? Does that apply to me? Does the universal laws of business building that you just taught us, does that apply to all of us if we're willing to do it?
Heck yeah. I mean, you can build something in a corner and, you know, if nobody knows about it, nobody's going to buy it. You know, if you got the wrong price, if you don't know how to talk about it, it's just not going to happen. It's just a hobby, you know?
Thank you. Well, I've said this before in less eloquent ways, Rick, obviously, but I said, look, if you have a Picasso in a cave with the lights off, is it valuable? Yeah, but I mean, we can't enjoy it. That's our job here. This is what I've always been preaching in the Hounds for 3 years, man. We want to take you in the spotlight, line that stuff up so you can be seen. People can benefit from the stuff you're doing here. And that's it. Now we got a whole ecosystem with a whole bunch of winners flocking in this thing like crazy, man. And that's the key. You know, hey, don't do it alone. That's crazy. I was an amateur for 40 years, Rick.
And don't wait either, right? No, Picasso in the cave, somebody's going to discover that 15,000 years later. You're like, wow, this is the most amazing thing, but that doesn't help the person who created it in the first place.
100%.
Exactly. See, again, practical advice. All right. So I should have put this on the screen. That's a long question. But all right, Shanda, we're going to pick on you. Hey, great. I appreciate that, Rick, because I want people to know it ain't you. You are cut out. You just have to be willing to put in the work. Go through the stuff. but you can do this. You should do this. I'm not even can. I'm should. I know what's out there.
Shouldn't.
Yeah, I'm put on this earth for it. So, Shanda, all right, what is some of the transformation? Like, what is something that surprised you? And you're like, you know what? Yeah, this is possible, right? This is good for people. This is going to change lives. What was that one thing in here that you went, oh yeah, even I'm surprised?
So I'm going to shamelessly thank someone because you brought their name up, and I can't let that go by because he wouldn't let it go by for me. Daniel Knight, thank you for being interactive on this tonight. Thank you. I would not know Muka if it was not for you. If you do not know Muka or anyone on here or Daniel Knight, we need to make that happen. Introductions need to be made for everybody, period, the end. Thank you again. Like, I'm going to cry. You have no idea. What was the question again?
No, that was better than the question. Yeah, just say whatever you want at this point, because that was better than answering the question. All right. So
what was the moment? What was that like Kairos moment for me?
Yeah, that one, like, wow, this is really going to change some people's lives. This is really like, wow, this is good. It could be anything. It could be
okay. I'll come from a selfish point. I'll tell you my takeaway.
Yes, ma'am.
I've had a business plan that I've been working on since February 2020. And every person I had talked to, and my background's in tech, so I know some really smart people. And I took my idea to them and said, hey, what do you think about this? Can we make this work? And they're all like, no, it's too big. It's a great idea. You got a big heart. I love that you have these ideas, but it'll never work. It's just too complicated. The first time I brought it up in EE, first time, not only did everybody say, you have to do this. This has to happen. How can I help you do it? How can I help you get there? Who do I need to introduce you to? Let me go through my connections. Let me go through my phone. And I was blown away. I ugly cried. I can't tell you how many times I've ugly cried in a good way since I've been in EE. I don't know about anybody else's 2025. Mine's been a little bit interesting. I won't go into any of that, but everything changed. But everything has completely cleared the way for this. All these relationships, all these friends, all this networking, all the conversations, all the one-on-one coaching, everything that everyone has invested in me would not have happened if this year had gone any differently. And I am so appreciative. They have no idea how much they have changed my life, changed my children's lives, changed the people's lives around me just by lifting me up and encouraging me and being there saying, we're doing this. And things like Muka saying, okay, well, write it down. Is it in your journal? And everybody knows I got a journal. It's right here, right behind me. Where's your vision board? Done. Amazon ordered the stuff. It's up. Okay, great. What's your mission statement every single morning in Dojo? Okay, cool. We're going to tweak it. We're going to keep tweaking it. Let's get those words right. Let's get this going. And then something just hit the threshold. And it has been thing after thing after thing just lining up. But you have to have that mindset. And you have to have that support. And you have to have that constant reassurance. You have to have all the things. It's not one thing. It's all of it working together. And you have to have your tribe. And I've been wanting this tribe for 10 years. And it's here. And I bug everybody with questions. I bug everybody with everything. But my question sparks somebody else's idea. And it just keeps going and going. And that's what I love about this group is it's not isolated. There's not, oh, someone's succeeding. Oh, somebody's doing great. No, we're all working together, feeding the thing together.
April Wyatt, Hounds, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? Y'all relate to this, right? This is, now you guys get it. This is why I'm so daggum excited. Everything you said, spot on. Celebrating you, daggum straight. Absolutely.
We got some fire from Louisa.
There's my girl.
Say that billionaire whisper. If I got that wrong, please correct me tomorrow. I want to piggyback onto what Shanda just said.
Yes, sir.
It's huge in that, like the reps, the consistency, those types of things. The thing I didn't know I was this passionate about, but here's the thing I'm sick and tired of seeing. People overestimating the challenge and underestimating their value and their worth and their abilities. Right? So if I overestimate the challenge, generally that's due to ignorance. And Muka's law. I'm gonna shamelessly plug a principle that I created based on Parkinson's law. So the size of the task expands to the deadline. You guys heard that before? Muka's law is the fear expands to the size of the container that I allow it to be. So if I am overestimating the challenge, generally it's due to ignorance. I don't know how marketing works. I don't know how to get in front of the right people, right? So if I have the right who's, I don't have to worry about the how, right? And the other side of the equation is undervaluing my worth. And those two things, that's the gas pedal and also the brakes. And when we're a full afterburner and the flaps are off, look out, epiphanies in art. That's what happened.
Wow. Well, I was going to say before when Shanda, if you tell anybody Brian made me cry twice, man, we're done. Okay. Don't tell no one. All right.
There's a whole bunch of conversations.
Only twice would be a lie, dude.
See, there you go. I don't know. I lost count after 2.
Under the bus. Here we go with the bus again.
Mike, the redneck connector, he cried like a man. That's what it takes today. Entrepreneur 3.0.
I was cutting onions for a salad. You know that's the truth, right?
There you go.
Hey, let me tell you something. I'm at that point. I'm done with all that. I'm done with all that second guessing. Listen, if somebody said wear some Speedos and a tinfoil hat and jump in the street because you can help more people, I'd do it, Rick. If I really I know that ain't gonna work. But that's where I'm at. I'll try anything once, probably only once. Might not do it again. But anything that I think has true value, I'm going to go get the info and then say yes and no. And as soon as I did that, man, life started changing for the positive. And that's what I encourage people. Don't say no to stuff you don't know about. Because I wish I'd done that 40 years ago. I ain't preaching. I'm just teaching. I'm just saying, hey, don't drive off the cliff. And that's what I love about it. There's no pressure. It's just like the Hounds. Like, hey, check it out. If it's not for you, man, I might find you someplace for you. But in my experience, I haven't seen anything like this. And that's why it's so exciting, because it was created out of need. It was created out of people who've been there, done that. And so how do we simplify and put this together for everyone? Go ahead.
We also want to level the playing field, right? So what we saw, the need that we saw in the market was the best in class are not making the most sales and having the most impact. Why? It's not a level playing field, right? There's a handful of folks that have big money, like 5 figures a month to do the traditional social media game. They have teams, they have resources and that stuff. Okay, cool. So we're not going to be able to we're not going to be able to compete with David. Right. Some people can. That's not our game. The slingshot was the new technology that allowed the shepherd king to take out the Goliath, right? And I really do mean to invoke the asymmetrical warfare. And I'm calling out somebody's call sign here that I admire very much, the shepherd king. And so how do what we saw in overseas in the networks was the smaller, faster, more agile has the advantage. And so what we're finding in some really prominent news feeds, both on LinkedIn and school, that's where this game is happening. The people that are doing that are not curating their groups. So we're able to go in there as an organization, as a small squad, and take over the feed. They're spending more than 5 figures a month to run their social media games, and it's ours. That's like Mike created a TV show, and I'm making sacred geometry on it because that's what I love to do. Right. But he paid the money, he set up the ecosystem, and I get to go play in it. How could it be fun to dominate the market, to be a leader in it? That's what we figured out asymmetrically.
That was well said. And one of the last things, because I want you to answer this too. You ain't getting away from it, mister. All right, last question though. But one of the things I've noticed, Rick, you might want to chime in or affirm it or deny it, but it's not that like these gurus and people, but when they say do this, I'm not here yet. And I think you alluded to that. You said that. You touched on that point. And so like, where do I, and this goes back to the custom suit, right, that Shanda was talking about. Where do I, at my place, point A, what do I need to focus on? And then all the little steps to get to point Z. That's it. We need a roadmap. See, strategy. That's another way. That's a long ass way of saying strategy, Rick. You're welcome. But that's what I mean. Right. And so, yeah, it's good principles. You'll get something out of it. But it took me way too long. And because then I met somebody who said, you need to do this. And guess what I did? I went to work and it happened. I didn't, but then I had to wait, like I said, 6 months to find another person or the right book or the right program. And this is why I'm so, and I do the group call with the Hounds. What do I hear all the time? Frustration. right? Like, look, I feel like I'm defective. You're not defective. You just don't know what you don't know. You don't have a Rick Meekins that can say, go here, right? He knows what he's talking about, right? Like, there you go. Start here. Well, now what's next? Oh, go over here. I mean, it's not easy, but it is that simple, folks. And thanks to Larry and, these handful and all 12 of the founding partners, I'm just, wow, I'm blown away. So Brian, take us home, man. What is one of the things, anything that you want to close on? You put all this, I don't even think you were thinking about, will it work? You were just going. And so what are some of the things, what's the most surprising or exciting takeaway as a co-founder here that you're like, wow, I'm even surprised by that. I can't wait to get that out there.
What I'm most surprised by is, as any small group who's like on a space station together, friction happens. And what I'm finding in this group and the principles that we put together with the way that we communicate, the way that we operate together, and the way that we facilitate, the triggers that would destroy other teams are bringing us closer. It's kind of like the stones in the pyramids of Giza. When there's an earthquake, the stones settle in tighter. And so I'm finding that style of beingness amplifies. That's the thing the things that I was afraid, the crucial conversations that I was afraid to lead, because my role on this team is like the esprit de corps and the camaraderie and the motivation and those types of things. The conversation that I was afraid to have, and they were really hard to have, were better for it. Only every time. And so that's the most surprising thing, because it's bringing out these latent gifts that I help other people find. This organization is bringing out my latent gifts as like a statesman, moderator, mediator in that. And it's allowing everyone to share their unique genius in a way that's exciting. So I'll end with that.
Man, well said. Folks, I appreciate you. If you got any quick last minute thing you want to say, you can now. But I think we said it all. I'll tell you what, if y'all want to learn or hear more or be around these winners, check it out, test drive it. Hopefully you try on clothes before you buy them, folks, right? Hopefully you date before you get married, right? Same concept, right? Go out there and test drive the thing, check it out, see if it's for you. Worst case, somebody who could benefit from it. That's the style. That's why we're growing in the Hounds, and now we're growing here. So check out the Hounds of Business on YouTube if you want to share this. Hey, absolutely. And if you're like, oh, what am I supposed to do again? Send me a DM on LinkedIn. All right. I'm going to point you right there. I'm so ate up with it, I can't handle it. And then last thing, though, I want to just close out with this. I want the folks out there to imagine yourself in this. It's like, well, that's Mike. He's lucky or whatever, or this person, that person. I've done that. So I know people are doing that. All right. You don't have to admit it. I will. And I want you to think about, what would it look like, right? If I can compress time frames, if I can get the answer to this challenge, right? If I can do it in, faster in 6 months versus 5 years, right? What would that look like, right? And then I just want you to do it. That's it. Do it. Do what? Go out there and figure it out. And now we've got a place for you to stop, right? Check this out first. What's the worst going to happen? You're going to meet winners and people that, you can meet contacts and lasting friends with. Well, that's a shame. I hope that don't happen. So anyway, you all know me. I don't sell stuff, but my goodness, I am so excited, honored to be a part of this. Larry Call, thank you so much, my friend. One day we'll sit back and talk about our back journey. All right, when I met Larry, yeah. So I'm telling you, this is an amazing pack of people. Hounds, you're the best. Sorry we couldn't get through all the comments. Friends of the Hounds and folks watching, hey, the more the merrier. All right, don't do this alone. You got entrepreneur experience right here. You got the Hounds of Business. Hey, let's do this. Big things happening. All right, no strays out there. All right, you can do this and you will do this, dadgummit. All right, we'll see you on the next one, folks. Thank you so much. Say bye. No soundboard.
Bye.
There you go. Bye. Thank you, Brian. Bye. Thank y'all for stopping by. Be sure to follow, share, and like, and send me a message if you had fun today. Y'all come back now.